I forgot how hot this is.
Yeah, girl.
Y'all will be stripping by the middle of the show.
Work it. It's become that kind of show now. I don't have any singles.
Yeah, this is normally a sexy costume. I had to turn it down for this. You know what I mean? Didn't want to steal the show.
Yeah. Okay, are we up? Yeah, we're up.
Oh, we're live?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
They just told me.
Crazy how that shit works, huh?
He always
All right,
pulls
guys.
his-
Hey, how you guys doing? This is Hunter's Hangout. We got an exciting show today. We have a character building show. They're going to tell you what you need to do to build your character for your haunted house or haunted attraction. Okay, and we're going to hand it over to Jamie Huggins, and she's going to tell us what kind of prize we got for us today.
Oh.
Possibly. Woo-hoo!
Good grief.
Oh.
Am I the only one that's hearing this 3 times?
Yep.
Yep.
Third time's
Headphones,
the charm.
Jamie, headphones.
Okay, here we go. I got it fixed. Hang on.
No pressure.
Grief.
It's gonna be. I know it's gonna be one of those nights. Okay, I got it now. Okay, so on to the prizes. First of all, let me make this large so you don't have to see my whole desktop. There we go.
That's
Okay,
what she
so first of all, someone is going to win this amazing mask from Face Factory FX.
Yay! Woo-hoo!
That's pretty dope.
And then from Fright Props, we have not one, but 2 prizes that someone's going to win. One is this awesome Faces light show, and the other one is this foam Celtic cross tombstone.
Nice.
Celtic. She meant Celtic.
And then from Sinful Audios, one lucky winner will receive 1 free SFX library, 25% off of original sound design, and 10% off amps or speakers.
Ooh, wow. I need to be a viewer. Fuck this.
And then, everybody say it with me now. Horror
Ornaments.
Ornaments.
Yeah,
Ornaments.
Horror Ornaments
Good
is
job.
giving away this amazing vulture ornament, which I know everybody wants to have because it is awesome.
Are you kidding me? That's dope. I want that.
I always
And
wanted
then-
to have one.
And then someone gets 1 gallon of fog from Froggy's Fog.
Oh, damn.
So clutch.
All right, keeping it going.
Keep it.
Again.
Wait, there's more?
There is more.
But you offered that like the last one.
From Haunt Labs, someone is going to win this amazing greenlit Haunter desk sign, and it is going to feature the winner's state.
Michigan.
CT.
Then from Sam Haynes, everybody watching tonight can get 50% off of our site if they use Haunters, all capital letters.
Haunters.
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 And then
Plural.
some lucky winner is going to win a realistic looking skull from Nightmare Makers.
Woohoo! All right.
Nice.
Okay, let's get on with the show. Oh, more?
Nope.
Oh,
Good
Keeping it
God.
keep it
We're
coming.
getting fucking hooked up.
Coming.
All right.
Time to go home. End the show.
Someone else is
Show's
going
over.
to win a Hollywood FX hybrid alcohol airbrush makeup in glow pink and glow violet.
Woohoo! All right.
And someone else is going to win a pair of exotic lenses from Exotic Lenses.
All right.
And last, but certainly not least,
There's more?
Someone
Okay,
tonight.
Clapping.
I know, someone tonight is going to win a $25 gift card from Hotwire Foam Factories.
Love it. Love it.
And one last shameless plug while we're here. Be sure to check out hauntershangout.org for all of your Haunter stuff and for amazing tutorials and all sorts of goodies.
Yeah, we got over 1,000 tutorials. So woohoo! All right.
Good God.
Good gee, good Lord.
All right.
Phew,
Glad
that
you're
was-
sticking around, Jamie.
Jamie's exhausted.
I know she's all tired just from naming the prizes off.
I
Yeah.
know.
All right, and we got Jen from Jen's Haunts, and she is going to be taking the questions. And there's no telling what's going to come out of her mouth tonight because she's kind of frisky. I can feel
That's
it.
right.
And I can see it.
Fucking off the hook, crazy chick.
All right, and we got Bill Rakosa.
What up? What up?
What's up? And he's going to be doing all the pictures for us, and he's going to be co-hosting as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now moving on, we're going to move over to the actors, and I'm not sure what that is. I want you to introduce yourself and tell me the name of your character.
Oh, am I on TV? I'm on the TV. My name is Bethany. Oh, but hold on a second. I got a song and a dance for you.
Holy fuck.
You're on Hunter's Hangout. Welcome to the show. Don't do blow. Yeah. I can't hear nothing right now. And I like turtles, and I'm a hoarder. Don't tell my mom, though.
All right, we're going to move on to Co-Red. No, I don't know.
Hi. My name is Summer. This is not my fucking house. And, oh, they hired me to take care of shit at the haunted hotel. Oh, too many crackheads. There's one. She's right there. She's in this. Oh, shit!
We had a casualty.
This show's gonna be over. People are gonna be like, "What the fuck did I just watch?"
I'm going back up, guys. I'll see you.
Porno.
Okay, we're moving over to Laura.
Oh, is this thing on? Hi, hey y'all. My name's Alligator, and I like to chase tail, mostly gator tail. I hang out in the swamps a lot, and so I bring the swamp with me wherever I go. How y'all doing?
We're doing good.
Good.
Sweet. I can't wait to have some of this shine. Wish y'all would say character more. Jesus,
Oh.
get with it.
Cheers.
Like I thought this was a drinking party, right? Jeez. Get with it.
The word of the day is character, kids.
Character. All right, we're moving on over to Stitches. Spit it out, brother.
Hi. My name's Stitches. I've been around for a little while. I'm the leader of the Dead City Clowns. I'm an asshole, and I have no fucking idea how I got on this shit.
Nice. Okay, we're going to move it on, and we're going to have some questions for the actors, and we want to know a little bit about their backstory and how they started creating the characters that they made up, and just from scratch, just right from theory to where they're at now.
Okay, Bethany, go ahead.
Take your hit, Bethany.
My name is Bethany. It's on my cup. That's a teacup. All right. My ears fell out. Now I can't hear nothing. And now I'm back. Let's see. My name is Bethany. I like songs and long walks on the beach. And I like boys. Hey, boys. I'm a hoarder. And speaking of boys, if there's one that I really like, his name is Bob Fairbanks. He just rubs my ribbon the right way. And I'm a hoarder, so I hoard a bunch of stuff, including people's faces, but they don't mind much because they're like, "Oh, girl, you ugly." And I'm like, "I know, give me your face." So that's me. And then there's this bitch called Amanda Ravange, and she's very she's very weird and has a ton of characters that she really couldn't choose from just one to be on the show, but she just had to. She has like 26.
Wow.
So-
Yeah, hey, Amanda, how did you come up with this character? I mean,
So-
how did you start it, and how did was there a backstory to it? Was there something you saw that made you create it or gave you the
this
idea?
character is was actually a co-team up character with Alex Tuttle, who does a character named Bobby Fairbanks. He's kind of a hoarder.
All these characters and no one's drinking, you motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
No.
Right.
Oh, I
Good thing
failed.
I'm behind it's a good thing I'm behind the picture right now. Whew. Lucky.
So
I ran out of drink.
So she kind of came about as being like a hoarder, and actually, my underneath piece is a kid's outfit that I cut off and made into a crop top, and then I found this like really awesome floral print vintage dress at the thrift store. And I was like, oh my god, that would be perfect. Because whenever I do characters, I don't really like going with black colors or like white colors. I always choose like really colorful colors normally. Because I think black and white and like even sometimes gray are one of the most used haunt attire, which is fine, but I just like to be a little more colorful and the Q line really stand out. So that's how this character came about.
You're a Q line actor?
I am a Q line actor. Q line, roller. I've done some stilts. I'm still working on stilts. And I travel to a bunch of different haunts and I train actors and stuff. But this character, her name is Bethany Fairbanks, technically. She's on an on again, off again relationship with Bobby Fairbanks. And she's a hoarder. She hates bugs and germs. And she likes writing songs about people, but they never make any sense because she's probably on some sort of drug. She's also very childlike, and I really wanted something different from any of my other characters. That's how this became.
Fuck, hold on.
And I got this little number and collector loves.
Sammy wants to know how long it takes you to do your makeup.
So
That's strong.
this makeup in particular probably took about 30 minutes just because I kept having to stop to try to figure out what I was going to do with it. Because this character kind of changes every single time I put on this makeup. Other characters, like my little girl character, Demonia, that takes me 15 minutes. And then my troll takes me about an hour. So it all really depends.
David wanted to know if your characters connect with the haunt, or do you just pick what you're going to be where you're at?
So most of my characters don't connect with any haunts, but let's say I'm working at Brighton Asylum, for example, which I did. I'll bring out my sane asylum patient so it will fit in with the haunt that I'm working at. So it all just really depends where I go. And then some haunts I just kind of like, they have a variety. So I bring out like my troll or something really fun and cool that I don't normally get to do.
Got it.
Very cool. Okay, we're going to move on to code.
Character.
I can't remember when it says code.
Oh, we're getting fucked up.
This is technically on beta somewhere. All of my characters' names, they're I have 5 middle names, so all of my current characters are one of those 5, at least. Thank you, Mom. Bless. But it makes it super easy. But all of my characters are meant kind of like Amanda's for travel. Okay. Gross. Okay. I took my mouth out. Okay.
I told you we're gonna have a hell of a time.
But my name is Teddy. This character it's actually new. I started making it about the time that I was told or I would be doing this. I started it then. It's kind of like a beta version. The next version won't have a mask. I just don't have makeup here. I didn't have time. But the story of my haunt. By the way, I am one of the 2 casting directors and actor trainers of the Haunted Hotel. I also do traveling training. But our haunt right now is kind of doing a shift in story to where basically the story is that the owner kind of sucks in, a bunch of crackhead miscreants, heroin addicts, prostitutes, and all the monsters are people. We don't have like monsters in our haunted house. It's not really something that we do. We're 100% actor driven. So that's like a huge part of it. And the thing is we're kind of making a shift into the paranormal style of stuff. So I am one of the people that the owner calls in to try to take control back of the tenants because he can't control them. So he's shifting to supernatural means to do so. So that's what we're working in here. But basically, I'm just a failed shaman that has narcolepsy and talks a bunch of shit. Which is all I'm really good at, is talking a whole bunch of shit. Yeah. So I don't think I said it, but character.
You said character. That's right.
Oh shit.
But yeah, that's about all I got on that. Yeah. I'm not that special. My face is hard as a rock, though.
Darren wants to know where you got your nickname from.
Summer?
Yeah.
It's my last name. My whole name is, don't steal me. I mean, I got shit credit, steal it if you want, but my whole name is Theodore Terrence Ray Jackson Summers. So I get a lot of names out of that. And Summer is super shamany. So that's what I went with on this one.
Rob wants to know where you got your mask from.
This mask is Altered Flesh FX. Xavier Garcia custom painted this for me to go with I am like the opposite of Amanda. I'm a huge fan of monochrome. So most of my characters are black and white, but like kind of like the extreme of it, like kind of like a black and white cartoon, black and white. This one is actually going more into earthy tones. Everything other than my gloves and my undershirt is leather. Like real leather and pelt and stuff. So that's what I'm starting to work with now, is a whole lot of like, this is black sheepskin, this is black sheepskin, this is, sorry, PETA. But yeah, so that's my thing. The older I get, the more weird materials I start messing with. So I've been doing this. This is my 14th year. And yeah, I only do Q line acting anymore. I haven't acted in the house for about 5 years. So yeah.
Oh, cool.
Linda wants to know, do you prefer to do the scenes or do you like the Q line better?
There are a few things that I like more about the Q line is because each character I create, I get to make it a level 11 version of myself. Like I get to put a lot more of my personality into it in a longer exchange than a shorter exchange. So I prefer Q line. I like, that memory, that bond with people, the picture. And at my haunt, we are a full contact haunt. So I can like pick kids up if their parents tell me it's cool and stuff like that. So like stuff like that is like super cool for me. But yeah, I like extended experiences.
I need to come work for you.
Anytime, brother.
Full contact.
Mike wants to know if it gets hot in there.
In this?
With all your layers of leather.
Of like leather and pelt and stuff? Hell yeah. Plus I'm 300 pounds. I'm just a fat, sweaty kid right now. It is the worst. It is some bullshit. Yeah, actually, honestly, it's not that bad. Oh, what's that? Sorry.
No, I said I'm feeling pretty cool over here. I don't know about.
Yeah, actually, it's not as bad as you think. It's not as bad as you think, but I am like kind of hot. I can slide in this, so I also slide.
Well, that's why you're doing Summer.
Yeah, slide right in there.
Yeah, slide into those DMs or them cheeks, whichever you prefer. But yeah. So yeah, it's not so bad. Could be worse.
Okay. Well, we're gonna moving on to Laura and
Alligators.
Good night.
Howdy, y'all. My name is Allie, and sometimes my close friends, call me Cooter. So you guys aren't that close to me just yet, but maybe by the end of the show, right? So my character, she hangs out in the swamp a lot. Like, she's a gator hunter, so
Character.
yeah, that was it. So this was a duo that I actually did with Amanda Ravange for it was Trans World 2017. It was at that voodoo party, you know what I mean? The soiree, right? So I wanted to make a voodoo character, but I kind of knew maybe I wanted to be something that might stick out a little bit, and something that could have some comic relief. When you're in a room full of haunters, like, the scare isn't as easy, so I wanted to go more entertainment. So I guess the person inside of Allie right now is actually Laura. So Laura, yeah. So I have several characters that I do. I will say this specific character, I spent probably the least time on, which is why I chose it for tonight. To me, I kind of wanted some more time in the character. I had so much fun at that voodoo soiree. So basically, Amanda and I teamed up. We made these gator catchers, as we were calling them.
Gator and alligator.
Miss Skeeter and Alligator is what we named them.
Feel you're slacking on the pictures, bro.
Uh-oh.
I guess so, huh?
What's up with that, Phil? What's up with that?
We're still doing stories to go after.
Hey, Phil's
Okay.
sleeping.
So,
I am.
so I am a queue line actor. I do act in the queue line, but I wear many hats at the haunt that I work at. I work at Dark Hour Haunted House. I'm actually head of the media department there, so I, do graphic design, and so any of the visual communications that you see, like billboards, stuff like that, I take care of all of that. I act in the show. I queue line act. So for my queue line characters, I try to pick things that, to kind of go off a question that was asked earlier, I try to pick things that relate to the story. They tie in. Dark Hour is about story, so we usually have, we're open all year, so we have different kinds of shows. So I have like a slider character that I do that fits into one of our Halloween shows. It was like an Egyptian show. Basically, we had an Egyptian witch that took over. So I made up a character that was an Egyptologist apprentice, kind of like an assistant kind of to an Egyptologist. And so that kind of worked into the story that way. So I have several characters, but this one's really fun. I like it because I can be kind of goofy, but I maybe wouldn't necessarily take this and actually like act in our queue line at Dark Hour with it. I can't think of where this would fit in, but this could definitely fit into the voodoo soiree, right? Not yet. So
Doug wants to know what makeup you're using on your teeth.
Oh, okay. Funny story. So I was having trouble getting my teeth, getting this black stuff to stay, because this is a drinking show and I was drinking alcohol. So it kept kind of coming off. So in a pinch, I don't know that I would suggest this all the time, but I always keep in my kit a little container or a little bottle of black nail polish. Now, I know that sounds weird. I know. I know.
Good God.
But it's not that bad. And so you can just put that a little bit on your teeth. And then some of this is
nail polish.
So it is black nail polish. Now, I wouldn't suggest that all the time, but if you really seriously need it to stay and you're having trouble with it, I do keep it in my kit just in a pinch.
Oh, nice.
Secrets revealed, right?
Yeah, now we know.
I know. That's what's wrong with me.
Hey, that's how you get it to stay when you're drinking.
Hey, I'm serious. I'm committed to this. So, yeah.
Right.
Darren wants to know how long you have been acting.
I have been acting, let's see, I started at Moxley Manor, I think, in 2010. So as far as haunt acting goes, I'm actually a baby, I think, in the industry. Most people I know have been doing that much longer. But 2010 is when I started. So I guess this will be, like my 8th year. Goodness, that doesn't sound like a lot. But I worked at Zombie Manor for a few years after that. Zombie Manor was actually sold and moved to Canada, and I've been at Dark Hour. There was one year when I was kind of like working at both Dark Hour and Zombie Manor, but now I'm only at Dark Hour.
Nice. All right, we're gonna move over to Stitches. Why don't you spit some knowledge, brother?
Stitches. Everybody's waiting for Stitches.
All right. My name is Stitches. I am the leader of this little group called the Dead City Clowns. And what else was I supposed to cover here? Okay. Oh, someone said character.
Yeah.
To that. Yeah.
See, I'm trying to break that ice, brother. You know, a couple more character drinks.
I'm not so much a character as I am just an asshole. So,
you mostly do Q line, or do you sit in a scene and rock that with some other people?
Oh, come on, Phil.
Hey, I'm just asking. Co-hosting, man. I'm trying here.
I do Q line acting, entertainment. Actually, thank you, Phil. You actually helped me out here, bro.
This is what I mean. I got you, man.
You came through in the clutch, bro.
I got you.
So Dead City Clowns. Let me cover a little bit of Dead City Clowns more than just myself. Dead City Clowns is a company that travels the country, the world, all year long.
Oh, nice.
So we're not just the haunt season kind of shit. Like in May, we're gonna be going to Niagara Falls. In August, we're gonna be going to Scotland. So we do this shit all year long, and different haunts hire us throughout the haunt season, and we show up and we provide our unique form of entertainment, which would mainly be Q line acting. But if a haunt wanted us in a scene, we have characters that would go in a scene and help them out in a scene if they're short staffed or whatever. My boy Ignis, he's a fire spinner. Razor Doll's a fire spinner. I breathe fire. I hammer fucking nails up into my skull. I do a power drill up into my skull. I eat glass. I do all kinds of stupid shit just to entertain people, I guess. Fuck my health. It's all about the people.
And you're fucking with her over some fucking nail polish.
I heard it.
Right? So we do the character.
Yeah.
Don't be knocking my nail polish, y'all.
All right, so we do this shit all year long. I'm actually ordained, so I could do your wedding, I could do your funeral, or your baptism.
Oh, do my baptism. Yeah.
I would love to. So yeah, when we do show up to haunts, I'm gonna keep it to a haunt level since this is Haunters Hangout. When we show up to a haunt, we provide the best form of mainly Q line entertainment that we could possibly offer. Now, I'm not saying we're the best in the world. I'm just saying that we try to provide you, or the haunts out there, we try to provide the best that we can. But am I a character? No, I'm an asshole.
Now, Stitches, do you guys use a lot of, I know you mentioned props and everything. Do you use like horns or any of that stuff, or you try to stay away from the generic stuff?
Oh, good question again, Phil.
Look at me go. Man, I'm going to say character.
He's on fire.
On that one.
Oh, somebody said character. Hold on.
Yes, his big horn.
This was full when we started here, and it's okay. So anyway, wait, what was your question, Phil? Props.
Yes.
All right. A lot of people ask, "Hey, Stitches, are you single?" No, I'm not single, but I am single. My girl, I have to hold on. Let me back this up. My girl is a pretty little lady named Diana. and she is a dirty fucking bitch. She's a shovel. And
I was like, what?
right? She's a shovel, and she's a dirty bitch, but I love her. And let's see, Ignis uses a fucking. I mean, he does fire spitting, so he's got his fucking staff and all that kind of shit. My boy Puddles uses an axe. Mungie, he likes to play with balloons and lollipops. And balls. He has like silicone balls that he fucking. We'll get into that later. But yeah, I mean, we all have props, but we don't really rely on props. We rely on our fucking personas to you know.
I thought you were gonna say we rely on our croissants for a second, and I was like, oh,
I love croissants. Fucking chicken salad and croissants, the best.
Stitches, people want to know where you got your mask.
Just his face.
Don't smoke. There you go. There you go. 2018. Don't fucking.
No vape.
No, do vape. Do vape.
No, don't vape.
Vape. Hold on. Vape. Do that. Shameless plug, Dead City Clouds. You can find it on mastervapes.com. Anyway, wait, fuck, what was the question again?
Where'd you get your mask?
Don't drink.
My mask. All right. My boy Chris Sanders actually made this face for me. There's a Stitches V1, which is the one that I started out with. There's a Vitches? What the fuck is Vitches? There's a Stitches V2 that was terrible. I'm gonna
character.
Character.
You assholes are drinking beer. I'm drinking bourbon. This is a problem.
I'm not drinking.
I got liquor with you. Don't worry.
I got moonshine. We're fine.
There you go. Is that apple pie moonshine?
Heck yes, it is.
All right. Anyway, all right. So my boy Chris Sanders made this mask for me. There's a Stitches V1, which is one I started out with. Stitches V2, which I put it on for one live feed. In the off season when we're not traveling and all that shit, Dead City Clowns does a shit ton of live feeds. It was terrible. People fucking hated it. So this is Stitches V3, and I have a horror miss. That was a good one. So the horror miss mask is this mask with like fucking Christmas colors, and I have got a fucking Santa hat that says Stitches and that stupid shit. And so it all except for V2. V2 came from someone else, but all my other shit came from Chris Sanders. And yes, I know you might be getting comments. Well, fucking Chris Sanders. Okay, Chris Sanders takes a long time to get you your mask, but as you can see, it's fucking worth the wait.
Now, one other question I have is, obviously we run into problems during the show where you have to fix something. Have you ever run into a situation where your mask is broken? Do you have a backup and all that sort of stuff?
Have you ever run into a situation?
Situation.
Has anyone ever hit you?
You guys see the things, by the way? That shit happened in New Orleans. That's a problem, but I'm dealing with it. So a situation with the mask. I've run into a couple. I was in Kentucky one time and it started raining. Now all the stitching on my face is fucking metal. It's not elastic. It's not all that shit. Chris Sanders has moved to elastic stitching, but I have requested all my masks be made with fucking metal just because I'm full fucking metal. So anyway, we got caught in the rain. There was no fucking shelter for me to go to because they stuck me in a scene. They stuck me in a scene out there, and I was in the middle of a fucking cornfield. And apparently they didn't know who I was or what Dead City Clowns was about. So I was in a scene and I was being told, stay in this fucking scene. And I didn't want to disrespect a haunt. We don't ever fucking, let me There we go. We never disrespect a haunt anywhere we go. We abide by the rules and all that kind of shit, whether it's profanity, touching, whatever the case may be. We abide by the haunt's rules. So at that time, my rule was, don't you fucking move. So I was getting rained on, and my stitches actually started fucking like rusting and snapping.
Wow.
Oh shit.
But yeah, it sucked, and I had to fucking replace the mask. But you know what? Wherever we get hired, character,
Right.
we roll with it. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Right.
yeah, I do. All right, we're gonna move on, and we're gonna move over to Alex.
Here.
Hi, Alex.
Right, and the question for you is, how long did it take, and for you to create a character, and like, when do you know that it's just right? Do you guys, go out and test it on somebody, or do you go actually just test it out at the haunt right off the bat?
Yeah, so with the characters, in particular.
Character.
I had to take my glasses off. Whew.
Dude, them glasses are killing it.
They're dope.
I can't feel my fingers.
Yay. So with the whole outfit and stuff, it depends on the person who I'm trying to be. Sometimes, like, literally I'll put on a costume and get into makeup and literally just walk around the house in that character.
I like your style, Alex.
Yeah, but I'll walk around, like, I'll eat as the character. I'll, like, fucking take a piss as the character. Like, I figure out the person who I want to be. Other ones I'll literally test at the haunt, but what I'll do is before we even open, I'll be in full costume, full makeup. I'll be in my persona, and I'll be scaring the fuck out of actors.
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
So I tested out on actors. I was like, if I can scare actors, I can scare anyone.
Right.
I had that same type of ideal at like MHC and stuff, because I've tested out characters at MHC too, because my theory is if I can scare haunters, I can scare anyone. So there have been a couple times where
that is true right there.
Amanda, Doug wants to know if you use any scents with your costume.
If I have what?
Any scents, like a smell.
Oh, yes. Oh my God. I heard, do you have any extents? I was like, extensions? Yeah, I do actually have a bunch of scents. My hobo clown uses whiskey and pumpkin. This character uses dirt. Demonia doesn't use anything. Lily the clown uses cookies. My sugar plum fairy uses like vanilla and like ice, like a melty smell. And I think that character also uses like a sugar plummy scent, if I'm not mistaken. I have a lot of characters. Sometimes
contact from.
This contact was from, I think, Gothica. If I'm not mistaken.
Deborah wants to know what's on your teeth.
On my teeth is tooth gack or tooth decay, as some call it. And I have a mixture of yellow and black on my teeth currently.
And how do you get it off?
You just brush with toothpaste, and it comes right off.
Cool.
Now, Amanda, this picture here, what character is this one?
Oh, I love that one.
That's dope. Hold on, let me click on that.
So that character right there is Blossom, my green fairy, and that's actually for I created that character for Dark Hour Haunted House. So that one is kind of a specific case where I needed a person to be for the show, so I made that from scratch, and I developed a whole backstory, and I took it out to Dark Hour. So like that's like me testing it too. It's like I made the whole character in New Hampshire, and I flew all the way to Texas with it, and I was like, hope this works. So
that fucking works. That's dope.
So Blossoms. Oh, that's awesome. That's a I'll get to that in a second. But Blossom, her backstory is she's the right-hand fairy to the Queen of the Fairies, and she's kind of like her guard dog, but she's been polluted by, has anyone ever seen Fern Gully in Hunter Hangout?
Yeah!
So you know the big toxic guy in Fern Gully? Well, that character, my Blossom character, is kind of based around that. She's been polluted, so she has a bunch of black dripping from her and stuff. So she's kind of like a schizophrenic, and she's very protect the land, burn it with fire type of deal. And she runs around trying to catch the leprechauns in a net.
Kathy wants to know if you have a favorite character.
That's a good question. My favorite character that I play would probably be Lily the Clown, which is my orange and black clown. And then a crowd favorite is probably Demonia. She went viral a couple years ago. I can't live her down. So
go back to the clown. You were saying about the clown.
Yeah, I have. I actually have, I think now, 4 clown characters that I do.
Oh, damn.
So,
Crandall wants to know what's the most money you've ever spent on a costume.
Ooh, that's a good question. Well, actually, that Phil has this picture up on screen here. So that picture is, I like to call her the two-headed bitch. So that's a Dark Stitches costume that right there, I'm actually in the Hunters Hangout booth and I'm modeling it at Transworld a few years ago when they still allowed costumes to walk around. So I came by the Hunters Hangout booth to visit. But that's the most money that was ever spent on a costume because it was bought in for me by my loving boyfriend Alex, and it's made by Tessie from Dark Stitches. And I have that's the only costume I haven't made from scratch that I own. And that's just a super fun character to be because I love like petting the head and picking his nose.
Character.
Yes, I did.
Travis wants to know how many characters do you play all together?
God.
26, I think.
Damn. Oh my God.
Damn.
Are those your real dreads?
No, these aren't my real dreads. They're clip-ins and tie-ins, but I use them a bunch for certain people. And that's my troll legend. That's Legend the Troll from Miss Scary Midwest. He's one of my favorites.
Darren wants to know what haunts you're working this year.
I don't know yet for certain. I always like to keep my mind open to like new haunts, you know. Because I do a lot of travel acting and I also do a lot of training. So I could work Brighton Asylum one day and then I can be all the way at Dark Hour the next. So I just never really know where I'm going to be or if I'm going to settle down or not. So I always have to keep an open mind. But if you guys want to hire anyone for some actor training, call me.
There you go.
You know, I just really love traveling and it's one of my favorite things to do. And I love seeing new places and meeting new people.
So you'd rather be a travel actor than actually find a home for or
yes and no. Like I like traveling acting is kind of like my real passion of what I really love to do, but I also love, you know, getting to know a crew for one whole season.
Right.
So
well, this is kind of a specific type of acting. What drew you to the darker characters as opposed to just, you know, everybody goes to Hollywood, becomes a waitress and tries to make it big? What drew you to haunting?
So I was actually afraid of haunted houses when I was younger, and I'd never stepped foot in one until I worked for one. So I worked for Nightmare New England back in 2008. That's when I started. And I just really loved improv. And I used to be a theater actor for like school plays and stuff. But like, I think my true passion came out when I was like haunting and scaring the fuck out of people. Like that's where I really found it. And I just really loved the atmosphere. And I learned a lot through haunting because I used to be like this really quiet kid who like didn't talk to anybody. And now like I can't go to a convention without talking to at least 500 people. So
right.
Changed a lot. And this character on screen right now, that was for a Christmas event, and that's actually kind of a mashup between a couple of my characters. But that character right there is Tiny Tim. you can see he has Christmas lights wrapped around his leg, but in the Christmas lights is a leg brace. So what I handmade like a vintage leg brace with my friend Nick. My friend Nick and I like made it. He helped me and stuff, but like that's like welded and fit to my leg. So I have 2 of them in general, but
that's dope as fuck.
Yeah, it is nice.
So I made a vintage leg brace.
Okay, we're gonna move on to Code.
Code.
We're moving on to Code. That's not his real name. His name's Code today.
His name's fucking Code, buddy.
It's Code
Stick with it. Dude, that's fucking dope. Look at that picture. Look at that picture. God damn.
Is that a teddy bear?
No. It's Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse. Oh, that's I shouldn't say Mickey Mouse. I don't know why I said teddy bear. My bad.
My name's Teddy. I don't know. It's fitting regardless. So that was actually a random pickup from MHC last year from Dark Fear Studios, Devin Chomper. And the rough is made by Svenpuss. Honestly, I saw it and I was just thinking of how I could get away with traveling and going to different haunts using a Mickey Mouse voice that I've used since I was a kid. So like,
can you do it? Do the voice.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Right.
So anytime someone would walk up to me at my haunted house, like we're pretty much PG-17 rated R, so we can cuss. Yeah, there's one. There's another variant right there. That Alex had. But yeah, so at our haunted house we can cuss. So people are like, oh, it's Mickey Mouse. And I'm like, oh, fuck yourself.
Yes.
So that was
that's good.
basically I was just a fired character actor from Disney World. It was pretty simple, pretty quick. I saw it and I wanted to be it. So yeah, that was about all for that one.
Rob wants to know how many characters you have.
Me?
Yeah.
It's hard to say. I think I have maybe like 7 or 8 established characters that I like actually carry around with me, but I'm a firm believer in finding what you have and running with it. Like I've put together so much random stuff from random stuff that I have. I mean, I have a whole closet full of random stuff. And since I'm in the queue line, I can pretty much just make or do whatever I want without too much thought behind it. So I kind of just throw stuff together sometimes. Like this is more well thought out, as are like a couple of my other characters. But yeah, I was at 8 or 9 established, probably like 10, 15 more that are just random. Yeah.
And Darren wants to know how long you've been acting.
Since 2004, I started at a local haunt called the Baxter Avenue Morgue.
And that was in your local town, or what made you apply?
Yeah. My cousin was a security guard there. And he was like, hey, you should come check this out. I went through, I started working the next night, and I haven't left the industry since then. I've worked consistently since then. I worked for Fear Fair in Seymour, Indiana. I was an actor, trainer, casting director there. Haunted Hotel here in Louisville, Kentucky. And yeah, I'm the same here. So
you also do a podcast now.
Yeah, I also do a actor-based podcast called Code Yellow, based off of the infamous code in haunted houses when someone pees themselves. So so basically,
we gotta get to the peeing stories at some point too.
Yeah, right.
Yes, we love this.
Definitely. But yeah, we just focus on acting in haunted houses, training, stuff like that. We also train. We travel to train. We do quite a few haunts. I would love to team up with Amanda on that. By the way, while we're talking about it. But yeah.
Bruce wants to know, what's your favorite character to play?
I don't have one because they're all me in some way, shape, or form. Neither one of them I have more fun with. I say I have a lot more fun when I'm sliding, because I'm just a really good shit. I'm just a really good shit talker. And adding a slide for a pop scare, I don't get that feeling a whole lot because I'm also like 6'2", 300 pounds, so I'm not fucking sneaky either. So it's like it's the pop scares don't happen very often for me. So sliding is a way to get them. So I think any character I can slide with, I have a lot of fun with right now.
Dude, that's gotta be rough on your knees, bro.
Yeah.
I've been trying
I'm
to.
6'2" myself. That's a far way to go down the slide.
Yeah.
So Teddy, what's this character here?
That character is the first version of well, actually it's the second version of a character named Randall. He was a traveling character. He actually, towards the halfway through him, I changed his name to Teddy. He was a traveling gypsy. And he was basically just me. I made it a point for this character, like he has like a pretty like baseline aesthetic. Like he's kind of got a silhouette to him, but he's still mostly just a person with a mask on. So I kind of made it, pretty obvious that it's like, yeah, I do some funky magic, but I also watch BET. So basically, it was like a ghetto failed gypsy was what I was going for. So I would rap with the customers, kind of like I was doing earlier when we were joking around and shit like that. Like he was just for fun. I just think he looks cool. The mask is made by Sinister FX.
Sam wants to know if you were a home hunter first or ever, or
Nope. I'm not. I was never a home haunter. I went straight into pro haunting out of the gate. I'm pretty sure that if I do retire, I will be a home haunter though. I think that will be what I do, because I always wanted a yard haunt. That's kind of been a weird dream of mine, so I want to do it.
You're gonna use your characters to do it, right?
Yeah, hopefully. This is a character that God damn it, drink. I don't know where mine went. Whatever.
I'm out of ice. These drinks keep getting stronger, and I'm already fucking tore up.
This is a persona this is my girlfriend, Ashley. We came up with this together. The character, God damn it, character. The character's name is Taka. She wanted to go for this like subterranean, like kind of like Japanese influence character. So that's what she came up with. Taka is the singer's name from her favorite Japanese band. So yeah, so she just kind of wanted a subterranean type deal. And that's what we came up with. Yeah.
Looks really good.
Nice.
John wants to know if you've created other characters or just the girlfriend.
I've with the character.
I've done. I didn't have enough time to really compile enough photos, but at the Haunted Hotel, myself and a few others, we create everything original. We come up with all the baseline ideas, and then from there, we let our actors have a lot of creative freedom with it, but we create the base around it. So we've actually designed more characters than I can count over the years.
Can you touch on that base idea part of it? Is that basically working around the scene? Is it working around?
Well, for the Haunted Hotel, we start at like the ground up. So hotel, boom. Housekeepers or maids, staff. But the thing where you really get to be weird and crazy is when you hit on the guests. It kind of turns it into like a toolbox haunt. That's what I call it. You have everything you need in it. We don't do clowns or anything like that. That's not something that we do. But we just don't do it. We kind of try to coming. Yeah, asshole. I'm sorry, dude. We kind of try to keep it on course a little bit. We haven't figured out a way to move it in, but it all starts from there. So maid or housekeeper. We choose housekeepers more often than maids, because housekeepers are just, for lack of a better term, straight bitches. A lot of the housekeepers like in the Haunted Hotel are just mean, raggedy, and they are like kind of starting to turn a little bit more like possessed, and they have their own personalities with them. We tell them what to be, and we design that, and then they tell us what kind of person it is inside of that. Then we build from there. We start building accessories and stuff like that, and try to figure out what they want to wear. So I mean, our current maid is going to be just a floppy drunk. She beer bottle and feather duster, just that's going to be her thing this year. That's what she wants to do. We're going to try to figure out ways to integrate that into her costume. But there's a lot of different characters that we get. Like, we spray people with gardening stuff. We have gardeners outside because hotels have landscapers. There's a lot that we put together for that.
Oh, that's
Good.
That's pretty cool. We're gonna move on to Laura and same question.
Hey y'all, guess that's me. Oh sweet.
That's a nice one right there.
So I clean up real nice. Eh?
That's a good one. Love it.
Thank you. So this character is probably one of my favorites. This character is very close to my heart because at Dark Hour, this is actually one of their witches, but this is the only witch that they have. They have 13 witches. This is the only one that doesn't wear a witch hat. So she's a little bit different. She's the Witch of Suffering. So she had this whole, idea behind her that she was supposed to be like, just this hardcore witch or whatever, but she didn't have a design and she didn't have a story. And when I heard Witch of Suffering and I heard her name was Vidua Writhe. We were in a meeting. We had everybody sitting there at the table. We were all brainstorming, Alan, everybody. And they were talking about her, but they didn't really have any other information on her. So I was so inspired by that. I went and I wrote an entire backstory for her. I created like a little Pinterest board. I love Pinterest for character design because you can create a board and just start pinning things that inspire you in certain ways and different pieces that you like. And then as you see the board together, it becomes like a mood board of sorts, and you can begin to see the design of the character. So I created that Pinterest board for Vidua and worked with Alan Hops on it, and he approved it. And character. I put the costume together. They had a dress, like a basic black dress that they had in costuming. And then I took and had some belts and stuff I put with it. I accessorized for the character just to make her, I think there's another picture of this character kind of further back. Basically, her story is I really wanted her to be like half Cenobite and half like dominatrix. Like she's the witch that's in the dungeon. So she's like, chaining people up to walls, and just her story is she gains power from other people's suffering. So if people are in pain and dying around her, she is at her most powerful. So
yeah, that's a creepy ass.
Yeah.
She is hardcore.
If I seen that like creeping out into the light a little bit and then the face come up, yeah, it would give me a little chill, I have to say.
I loved her, and Alan did that prosthetic for me. So basically, when they sculpted it, you can see she's got like a 5 head there, right? Like she doesn't quite have a 4 head, like it's way more than that. That prosthetic piece actually went up through my hair, and they would put like mud mask, or it's like mint julep mask. They would put that in my hair to cover my hair, and then that piece would just extend over my hair. So it really kind of gave that character a little something extra. Just that kind of that female Cenobite look a little bit, within just having some hair there. There you go. So this is a further away shot. You can kind of see some more of her costume there. So that's Vidua also.
Laura, do you want to hear the funnest fact about that dress?
Please tell me. Fun fact.
New. That dress, when I did the witch for TFW?
Yes.
That was the underneath dress.
So,
we're so connected.
What's so funny about this is that dress was very stretchy.
Yes.
So both Amanda and then someone a little bit bigger than Amanda can wear that dress. So I got into it.
Big Booty Judy.
Big Booty Judy is what some people call me. Thanks. So it was kind of funny. I went on a diet to be able to fit into that dress, and I just got so tired of dieting to get into it. One day I just ordered strawberry shortcake for lunch, and Alan took one look at me and he goes, "You know what?" He was like, "You're not the Witch of Suffering." He was like, "You're the Witch of Gravy." And so that kind of stuck for a while. So this is Vidua. She's the Witch of Suffering, but we kind of poke around and call her the Witch of Gravy sometimes. But she's awesome.
Darren wants to know if you've done any training other actors for Dark Hour.
Okay, so I don't really do formal training or anything of any of our actors. I do have some people that kind of come to me, you know, some actors and actresses that I'm friends with, and they'll ask me my opinion. You know, one of my friends, Steven, was just recently doing a promo, and it was one of his first promos for Dark Hour. He came to me and he was like, you know, telling me, he's like, okay, I got to be a zombie in public. You know, what are some things that you would do? And zombies in public are tough because if you're around people, I mean, the threat diminishes very quickly with zombie. It's like when you're in a horde and you're kind of far away, the threat's really high. But once you get close to someone, it's like, what are you going to do? Bite them? Like the next thing to do is to eat them, and you're not going to do that. So
Right.
I give people advice. I don't formally train, but I definitely, anytime Alan Hops is teaching a training class at Dark Hour, I always went to those. But we've got a few other people that do training. I mostly stick with the character acting and graphics. That's kind of where I am.
I love this pic right here. That's pretty good.
Oh, this one, yeah. So that's Corva Hive. Funny story on that. That's one of Dark Hour's other witches. That's the Egyptian witch. So one weekend at Dark Hour, I don't even remember what my job was supposed to be that weekend. It was during haunt season 2016. And the girl that played Corva Hive on stage in our stage show had called in sick like a few minutes or whatever before she was supposed to be there. So Jake, our technical director, kind of freaked out, and he just kind of pulled me in the hallway and he's like, I need you to see if you can fit into this costume. And I was like, okay. So I just threw it on. They handed me some lines. Literally while I was getting makeup on, I was running through the lines, learning it right then. I went through maybe 2 or 3 rehearsals before we had people in the building. So sometimes at Dark Hour, and I'm sure at other haunts, things happen, right? You know, you'll have somebody that's meant to be in a spot. You'll have somebody that, you know, gets sick or whatever, gets hurt even. So you kind of have to just be ready for whatever, which I kind of enjoy. This is another one of the witches that I play at Dark Hour. This is a Simone. This is Simone Noir. Now, we take her out into public, so we try not to make her too scary. She still has to be personable enough to be able to talk to people and kind of get their attention. We find if you take them out into public and they're like over the top scary, people kind of block you out or avoid you more than anything. So sometimes on our promos, we try to make them just, I don't know, a little bit more, you know, easy to deal with. Simone is one of those witches that you can kind of dial back a bit. She was at that time the head witch of the coven. So there's stories behind every single one of the Dark Hour witches, and she kind of was the one that had brought the whole coven together. So.
Oh, very cool.
So Mike wants to know, you know, how long you in makeup with these characters, and someone else is doing it for you?
So it depends. The ones that we've looked at here, just these last few, the ones where I'm in a full face prosthetic, you can see it's a foam prosthetic. That makeup is done by one of the makeup artists at Dark Hour. This is a promo event here that you're seeing here. This was a pride parade. So normally for this makeup, I'll probably be there for, you know, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, something like that. They'll get the prosthetic on my face, and then we airbrush on top of that. Most of, you know, my arms and things like that are covered inside of these witch costumes. So it's really only the neck and, you know, the fingernails, your hands, and then, of course, the face. And I wear contacts and stuff, too. But they can bang, you know, they knock out these makeup jobs pretty fast. I think if you can get it done in under an hour, you're doing a good job.
Oh, very cool. All right, we're going to move on to Stitches. And one thing that I was always wondering, what do you think the advantages are with having, I know that you have like the one character versus having multiple characters. What do you think the advantages are of that?
I am Stitches, you know. I mean, out of the makeup and the mask and all that, in the makeup and all that bullshit, I live this. Like, this is me.
Right.
Stitches is just my person amplified to the 100th degree, And this is just, I don't have to focus on other characters and all that kind of shit and changing. Though I do have other masks and I do have other characters, but in the public, this is me.
Right. Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's like wherever you go, everybody knows this one character, and everybody knows his Stitches. And I mean, is there any? You got any stories to tell us about? Maybe you like have any full contact haunts where you actually got to be able to manhandle anybody or scare somebody?
And Stitches, people are asking about the pee. Stacy wants to know about the pee.
The pee?
Do you get peers at your haunt?
I get people that piss themselves. I've had people that shit themselves. I've had people that have crumbled and passed straight out, like blacked out on the floor, and I have to wake them up and hold them up and guide them out of the haunt that I'm working at. But full contact haunts. There was a haunt that we worked for early on in DCC called Fright Night Campouts. It's a 14-hour straight haunt. And this is where Diana came into play. This is where I picked up the shovel and dropped the chainsaw, because in my early days, I used to carry a chainsaw. But I was like, okay, if I'm doing this full contact haunt for 14 hours, I'm not carrying around a fucking chainsaw for 14 hours. That's not happening.
Yeah, no shit.
So I picked up the shovel and it stuck the entire time. But I mean, I love full contact haunts. Not because I go overboard and all that kind of stuff, but just because if you get that one person that's really feeling the moment or whatever, then you can drag them into the woods, tie them to a tree, stuff a sock. Let me get my words here. Stuff a sock in their mouth, and I dig a hole while they're tied to the tree. I don't want to give too much away. You know what I mean?
But do you take the sock off of your foot? That's what I want to know.
Actually, the sock comes off of their foot. I don't know where my feet have been, but they know where their feet have been. So we use their socks when we do all that.
Nate wants to know if at any point anyone's ever made you break character.
That's a good question. Break character, no, but have my personal physical emotions involved in my dealing with a character. I have once. This guy at a haunt, and I'm Stitches casual right now. Usually I'm in a different costume. I have a new costume coming from a guy that made costumes for Cradle of Filth and Behemoth, the metal bands, and all that kind of stuff. So Stitches has a new fucking costume coming. But I usually have cigars like in my pocket. And I had one guy at a haunt grab my cigar out of my pocket and decide, well, this is funny. Now, mind you, I'm 6'2", 240 pounds. I'm not quite as big as Code. That's a bad motherfucker right there. But I'm 6'2", 240 pounds, and the young gentleman that decided to take my cigar out of my pocket and tease me with it.
Oh no!
I remained in character, but I did have Diana with me, and she may or may not have made acquaintances with his head. But I got my cigar back, so we're good.
Hey man, I'm not big and intimidating. I'm just a chunky monkey with a soft heart.
That's just me. Sorry, guys. I had to ditch the costume. My neighbor knocked on the door.
That fur is getting hot, wasn't it?
Well, you see, what had happened is my neighbor knocked on the door, and I wasn't sure if I should do that or not. So I said, no.
You should have done it. That would have been a classic story right there.
No, I can't. They would call the cops, and then me, I would. It's all bad. I already look suspect as it is. I can't make it worse.
Doug wants to know if you have a favorite place to haunt.
A favorite place?
Yep.
Man, we go all over the place, but one of my favorites, and these guys hired us year one, and we're returning this season, is Woods of Terror and Lake Hickory Haunts in North Carolina. They both have a midway, so it's not necessarily like queue line acting, but you have like this whole area. I don't know if you guys have had experience with midway haunts, but basically people get like a number or a character ticket, and they hang out in this big community section before they get called to the haunt entrance. And any haunt with a midway really lends itself to a lot of play time. So Lake Hickory Haunts, Woods of Terror, both of those places I look forward to returning every year.
Max wants to know if you've ever accidentally hurt anyone during full contact.
Accidentally. See, that's the key word.
Yes, it was an accident.
Okay. At a full contact haunt, no, I have never accidentally hurt somebody. But there was a haunt one year, and I was with Diana, and there was a zombie scene at the end of the haunt. Well, at this particular haunt, I did queue line. I would roam through the haunt itself and not interfere with other actors, because as a scene actor, you thrive on that jump scare. That makes your whole night is getting those scares. So I make sure that myself and my crew never interfere with a scene actor's scene. Like that is their bread and butter. You don't want to fuck with that out of respect for the haunt itself and for that actor in particular. But at the end of this haunt, there was a zombie scene, and the customers would come running out of that zombie scene into what they considered the safe zone, which was never safe to begin with. But at one time, I did throw Diana down onto the ground, and the shovel jumped up off the ground and smacked the customer in the leg. And luckily for me, they didn't say anything. They kind of hobbled away off to the exit, luckily. But I didn't mean for that to happen, but it happened, and now they got a story to tell that they got smacked the shit out of with Diana.
Right.
Well, you were mentioning that you like the startle scares. Now, I probably know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it anyways. Do you prefer touch, or do you prefer the whole startle scare of everything?
Whether it's full contact or no contact, myself, I kind of hang in the distance, and I use a lot of this right here. I just stare into the soul of the next victim, and they
see Jamie would have fainted right then when you did that.
Yeah.
They know from this gaze right here what the fuck is up. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So startle stare. That's not really my style. I want them to know, shit, what the hell is this guy doing? What is he about to do? I like to play the psychological games more than the boo. Like that's not me. I'm not the boo guy.
Right. David wants to know how you created Stitches, like his whole personality, and where did that come from?
Stitches, man.
It's
All right, so my backstory is that way back in the day, I was a magician, which I am, by the way. And my not tonight.
Come on, man.
Take the card and the card.
Make some of that
right.
disappear.
Make sure you show a lot of character, though.
Character. I heard you say it.
Shit.
As if I'm not drunk enough. All right, so, damn it! See what you did. What was the question?
David wants to know how you created Stitches, his personality, and who he is.
All right, so the backstory. That's where I was going. I was a magician. My assistant was a nagging yapper, and one night I decided, you know how magicians saw a woman in half, right? Okay, so I left that bitch in half, and I dipset, so I cut her in half, and then I left the stage, cut the face off of the next act, which was a clown, and that's this, right? So, Stitches is a very big amplification, if that's a word. It is now. Of my human. So when Stitches came about, it wasn't necessarily like I want to do this, and this. It was this fits who I am, and I will be able to portray this character in a way that is very fluent to the way that I live in general. So in my unmasked form, I am a bit of an asshole, while at the same time I actually give a shit about everything around me, to include like nature and animals in particular. I don't have a very big fondness for humans, but I do like animals and nature. So Stitches is just, with or without this mask, I am Stitches. People that I know in my personal life, they say, hey, you walk like Stitches, you talk like Stitches without the vocal manipulation, because this is not my real voice. So they say even without all this shit, I am Stitches. So where Stitches came from, it just came from me.
Well, I guess that's like one of the things of like having the single character. So yeah,
absolutely. It just makes it easy.
It gets embedded, and sometimes you don't realize that you're not sure what you are. Your Stitches or the other guy, but the other guy's Stitches.
That line. When I first started this, that line was very distinct, but now I'm not sure where that line is at all. Like I'll find myself doing the Stitches voice
without
as my human. Right. And I don't even fucking realize they're doing it. And I'll have the people around me saying, why the fuck are you talking like that? And I'll be like, shit.
Damn it.
Yeah.
On that note, we got to go with character.
Yeah, when I do Demonia's laugh, like for like a week, it'll be stuck as that laugh. I'm like, stop it. No. God, why?
Yeah. I mean, it seems like everybody here is pretty much a Q-line actor. Alex, you want to tell us a little bit about,
So many people think my name is Alex on Hunter's Hangout right now. I'm like, no.
I'm sorry. That's what it says, though.
I know.
Sorry, I saw that.
Hey, if you guys have any tips or whatever for like upcoming Q-line actors? Right.
I know.
That's Alex.
Yeah, that's Alex.
Man, Q line acting versus scene acting. Now, obviously, hold on, let me get my mic back up here. Obviously, both Q line and scene actors are very needed in haunts. You can't have Q line actors and then walk through a haunt full of animatronics and expect the haunt to meet up to the Q line. That's something that I've come in I want to say contact with. I've had a lot of people say that the outside of the haunt was far more scary than the inside of the haunt. And it kind of makes me sad to hear that whenever I hear it. But Q line actors in general are the people that take a lot of time and effort to develop their character in order to be able to communicate and mingle with each individual customer. That's the difference between a Q line actor and a scare or a scene actor, is that the scene actors are they have a script and they have to execute that script every single time a customer comes in. So if your haunt's open 8 hours, that scene actor is executing the script with the same intensity and the same vocals and all that stuff all night long. Whereas the scene actor is able to connect with these customers on a personal level. And the character itself needs to be a little bit more developed as a scene line or a Q line actor, because these customers are seeing you not in a strobe or fog or whatever is going on inside the haunt. These customers are able to see you as like, damn, this is real. You know what I mean?
I think the big difference between like in scene and like Q line acting is Q line also has to have a level of humor as well to it, because if I always describe haunting as kind of like, you know, you're the Leatherface of your movie, you're the Jason of your movie, you know, if you're playing a villain. So if you're right in their face, you know, and you're not killing them, there's a problem. like where do you go from there?
Right.
So Q line especially has to have a lot of humor mixed in, because you're with customers face to face potentially all night, because they could. I've seen customers go in the haunt and then come out and hang out in the parking lot for like the rest of the night as well. So you just never know who you're going to meet, where you're going to meet them, and what their reaction will be. You know, and with me,
on that humor, Amanda.
I do a lot of humor. I also do a lot of scares. And some of my characters, it's a lot of dark humor. And then some of my other characters is a lot of stupid humor. Like, for example, Laura and I teamed up yet again to do another SWAT team member characters.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Her and I did SWAT teams, and her and I kept saying, "Drop it like it's SWAT" all night. and we went to MHC, and we were on the escalator, and I had a megaphone, and her and I were yelling, "The situation is escalating!" Down the escalator.
Nice.
You know,
Yep,
so,
everybody in the bar loved that, right?
Yep, everyone was like,
yeah. Tell the story behind those characters, because they were rookies, right?
Yeah, so the story behind, I think I added a picture of them, Phil, somewhere.
Oh yeah, we should have. I think I turned in one too.
Uh-oh.
Come on, Phil. I told you.
Oh man, I gotta get ready now.
Wake up
when you guys get a minute.
I got relaxed.
Watching, and he's got a question.
Uh-oh.
Alan is watching.
Alan, you're a fucking legend in my book, bro.
Well, guess what, Stitches? He is talking to you.
Oh, Jesus.
He wants to know. I think we already went over your mask, but I'm going to ask again because it's Alan. He wants to know who made your mask and how long you've had that particular mask.
Chris Sanders made this mask, and like I said before, this is the third iteration of this mask. This is not the original Stitches mask. But yeah, he made this mask, and yeah, I mean, fuck. Alan, you're a goddamn legend, bro. I saw him at Midwest Hunters Convention last year. He was in the process of like molding a new mask or whatever the hell he was doing at MHC last year. But yeah, Chris Sanders made this mask. I don't know if Stitches V4 is going to be a Chris Sanders mask or not. I might lean towards the silicone because this is latex. I might go towards silicone just because of how much makeup I have to wear under this mask. And I use a mixture of alcohol base and water base airbrush makeup under the mask. And around my mouth, I have to use alcohol base because I smoke cigars, I smoke vape, I drink. It is what it is. You have to have a makeup around your mouth that allows you to do that stuff without wearing off. So I might lean silicone.
Awesome. So I'm loving the SWAT outfits are awesome.
Yeah, so these are our SWAT characters. That's Laura and myself. I have the big SWAT helmet. And she has the hat. And
those are dope.
Yeah, so these are really funny because Amanda and I, when we came up with this story, basically these were built specifically for a zombie apocalypse kind of situation because we did build them for Spring Fever, which is Dark Hours zombie apocalypse show. So we built this story because, of course, they were going to be queue line. Of course, they were going to be out there front facing with the public before and after they come out of the show. We built in kind of a funny story. Basically, they were in,
first day on the job and the zombie apocalypse happened.
Right. So they didn't even like finish, they weren't given weapons or anything. And so like all of my pockets on my SWAT character, they're all just the tactical pockets and everything are all just filled with snacks.
Yep.
Because we weren't issued weapons, but then all of a sudden it's like shit hits the fan and it's the zombie apocalypse. So that's what made these characters so funny. And so I kept saying like, the S in SWAT stands for snacks. And that's when we would kind of do the drop it like it's SWAT and everything. We had little radios. Our little radios worked and we would talk to each other. Oh, yeah.
Laura and I went to the bathroom at MHC, and her and I were we went a stall and a half away from each other, and we were radioing each other at MHC in the bathroom.
Yeah, people were starting to get on to us. Like basically, they were catching on that we were radioing each other, and we would just be like 2 steps away from one another. Like Tater on the dance floor at some point, he was like, "Are you guys radioing each other? Like you're right here." So we were messing around. It was pretty cool. We really enjoyed those characters, and of course, anytime you can throw the humor in, it's always good for the entertainment value.
Yeah,
Did you guys ever queue line act together?
Yeah, we did somewhat at Dark Hour. She was stuck in photo booth when we did those characters, so I'd walk by and act with her every now and again. But my SWAT team member's name is Ima N. Trouble. So I'm in trouble.
And I was, oh my god.
Yeah. And I would make people in the queue line do the hokey pokey to test to see if they were a zombie or not.
Yeah, because if you can do the hokey pokey, you're definitely not dead in a zombie.
Nope. And so many people got it wrong, and it was so funny calling them out in front of everyone because I had a big megaphone, and I would call them out in the megaphone. So that was a lot of fun. And I also had Twinkies in every pocket, and I would always be like, "Hey, anyone need a Twinkie?" And then for that show in particular, I carried around a fanny pack filled with, it was like a first aid fanny pack, and it was filled with just ramen noodles, and I was handing out ramen noodles to people all night. So I love save your life, especially if you're broke.
Hey, so Code, you got any experiences on the queue line? Something your character that you like the best, and experiences that you had that either made him pee, laugh, cry?
There's a lot. The humor is a huge. I really can't stress that enough. It's a huge part of our training too, is quick wit retort. We basically just, how to talk shit 101. You really have to, do that, this character. But it's it's an art, and you really find new ways to kind of bring that about. Like I have a nerd character as well. That is like he wears glasses. He has a retainer. That's where the mouthpiece for this the most recent character came from. He's just a huge nerd. His mom was a prostitute. She dropped him off at the hotel. He has no idea. All he knows is that he likes Halloween. He's my trick-or-treater character, which is awesome that Amanda and Alex have one too. But he's basically he's just a trick-or-treater. He loves Halloween. He's a total dork and he slides. But the thing is every time he slides, he's like, hey guys, watch this. Gets a big circle and just eats shit. Like I just fall, like, and that's like the thing, and like everybody loves it. They think it's hilarious or cute, or that's like a huge part of it.
Fabulous.
Yeah, right. So it's humor is huge. The other thing being at my haunt is the fact that we can like the amount of contact that we're allowed to have is we can pick people up, we can move them around, stuff like that. Yeah, that's the Christmas version of the nerd. That his name's Sammy. All of the cats are messed up except for the one. The one is the only one with a normal name. That one is Squiggle. It's really cute. And then the other one are all like, at the time it was a big social like a big social thing with like government, so they all have really bad government names and stuff like that. But that's just how our humor works. But yeah, he would eat shit. He'd just fall around all day, just fall everywhere. But yeah, with the amount of contact though, back to that, we can pick people up in line and we use that as like a gauge of how crazy people are going to be when they get in the house, because it's no different in there. We use our queue line for like more of like a temperature gauge. So if you can't handle this out here, this funny nerdy guy rattling you around, grabbing your arm, stuff like that, then you're not going to make it inside. And we put so much emphasis on the training for that and everything that we want to make sure that the show is fantastic for everybody, because we don't do what yeah. Yeah, me and Amanda have matching scarves from
yeah, I saw a scarf. I was like, oh really, I want that scarf for Amanda Revenge.
Yeah, in real life. Yeah, so I sent her one. But yeah, so for us, Q line is mostly funny. We do get some pop scares here or there, but we use it as humor and a temperature gauge. So I would say learning how to like read people is the most important tool you can have out there. And that's the main difference is, once they're in the house, but in the line, you have all the freedom in the world to basically gauge what they're going to be doing. So that's the most fun.
You got any scary characters that you like to do that gauges, letting them know this is what you're going to face once you get in?
Yeah, actually the next one, Phil flipped to it for just a second. That one. So he is like aesthetically kind of intimidating and scary. His name is Randall. He has a small snippy brother named Arthur that is also one of the characters at Hotel. He's a casting director with me. Basically, like I was the brawn and he was the, I guess, brains. We're both British. I was just big, scary, like feral alpha male type deal, like get in people's face and test them out on like that front, and then he was the mouth yapping, but I was just stupid. That was the biggest thing. I was also fumbly and stupid, and I would he would be like, get him, and I would pick on my brother character and like start scaring him and stuff like dumb shit like that. Like we were just a really dumb team that were trying to capitalize on tourists. Like one of the ideas that we had were to like get like donut hot dog hamburgers and take them out and be like, oh, Americans love this shit. And like
I would eat the shit out of that right now.
Yeah, we were gonna do dumb stuff like that. We probably will this year.
Teddy, I have a question in regards to this picture here.
Sure.
What's going on in the character on the left's mouth? What is that yellow stuff?
That is Alka-Seltzer and food coloring.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is actually from 2007, 2008. It was a parade that we did. His name is Tad. Yeah. So
it almost looks like egg yolk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
He would drool that shit all night. He's to this day he still does it every once in a while, but now after time it makes his mouth numb. So he's like, I can't do it anymore. He starts talking like, just go back.
There you go, kids. Don't do this.
Don't do that.
Periods of
Exactly.
time.
No Alka-Seltzer.
There are products for this. There's Tooth Gunk. I use right now Wilton's for drooling, so that's
There's Mouth FX too. I haven't used
Mouth FX and Vial.
Hey, Teddy, I'm looking at your pictures, and how much of it is mask and how much of it is makeup?
Well, that's Sammy. That's my face. I actually in the last 3 or 4 years, and at the beginning of my hunt career, I used makeup, and the last few, but our big thing was masks at Haunted Hotel, because we were the embodiment of basically serial killers, kind of the slasher film, like we're just people. So that was our thing. So we used a lot of masks. We didn't use makeup because we weren't monsters, but now that we're kind of, gravitating towards that more and more, we are. But out of the pictures that I've shown, I think probably half have been masks, half have been makeup. So
also masks when you're managing are like
the godsend. Yeah. Because I'm also part of the head of security. So when there's an actual escalation, I can just throw the mask off because nobody's going to listen to a monster telling you to get the hell out. So that's also really good. Yeah.
Nobody's even going to listen to a manager telling you to get the hell out. It has to be like a security guard,
Not necessarily.
Unless you're
yeah. I just whip out the flashlight and they see the massive black dude telling them to get out. They're like, fair. I'm gone. I'm out.
All right, we're gonna move on to Laura and give us some little insight on your Q-line acting and stuff and what you like to do and your favorite characters and whatnot.
Sure. For Q-line, I guess one of my favorite characters, both Amanda and I have a Sugar Plum Fairy that we do. I call her Sugar Plum Scary, and I run with her during our Christmas show at Dark Hour. She's one of my favorites. She's very different than any of the other characters that I do because she is very high energy. So in essence, kind of what I do for this character is really, I'm just like on a sugar high the entire time. So it is very high energy. It's tough to be in that character for a while. So I have to really plan out what I'm going to eat. I have to make sure that I'm really well hydrated for her, which of course you want to do for every character. But
right. And I'm sorry, that's not the character, Phil.
What?
Wait. Oh,
come on, Phil.
Oh,
come on, Phil. Jesus.
Phil is sleeping.
She's talking about her Sugar Plum Fairy.
I'm just trying to go through pictures.
That's a zombie.
That's
not it, Phil.
That's not it, Phil.
I feel like Phil really wants to talk about that character, so we can talk about that one.
Hold on, I found the Sugar Plum.
Did you?
Dude, you got like one job. You got like one job.
There we go.
Listen, I was trying to just go down the line.
There's my Sugar Plum. Yes,
Is it?
yes.
Oh, I'm good.
Thank you. Yes.
That's extra.
This one, she's definitely. Yes.
I love the lighting. That's awesome that you lit her up.
And you know what? That is something that I learned from Amanda Ravange. Amanda, she just kind of goes the extra mile sometimes with her characters. You know what I mean? And she had some character like her Tiny Tim or something had some lights and stuff on it. And I was like, hey, that makes a lot of sense. And so I added that to my character. I think we should learn from each other, and I really appreciate Amanda. She's awesome. So yeah, I have to say the lights was definitely her idea. I got that from her, but
I think it was my Sugar Plum Fairy that had the lights in it first.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I think at MH.
Yeah, take that.
Yeah, well, that one too. So she has two characters that light up. So it makes sense, right? Christmas lights for a Christmas character.
And those lights sometimes get hot too. So if you have them in your boobs for long periods of time, be careful.
I keep them out.
I don't know that one.
Out of the boobs. They're mostly just in that the tulle skirt there that you see, and kind of have them wrapped in. There's a little battery pack that's hidden that kind of fits it in underneath that piece that goes around my waist there. So I can actually turn them off and on if I want. Usually if I take this character into the haunt, what I will do is turn off the lights, and then as part of the scare, turn them on when I'm scaring them or coming at them. But this character actually developed into becoming a Q line actor. So I love her. She's super high energy. She's cool. She gets scares and stuff because there are people that are they get really uncomfortable around her. For the last show, she was basically posing.
Laura, cut out.
What the hell?
I thought she was saying posing.
I thought I froze. I was like,
oh, went to a pose.
Yeah, we all thought we froze.
Way to go, Amanda.
Oh, there you are again.
What? Oh, okay. I learned something really important with this character. So this is why I included this picture. So this character was a dog trainer, and I did this for our werewolf show. So our werewolf show is called Dog Days of Summer. And so the werewolves are huge, right? And they take over. So this was a dog trainer. So when she saw a werewolf, she tried to train it. And basically, I mean, werewolves are going to not listen to you, right? So the way that she looks and the way that she acts, you can see she's beaten up. She's in a neck brace there. In that character, I would always be very scared. So any noise, any little thing would really frighten me. And I just looked so pitiful.
Oh, no!
Oh, no.
Well, anyways, can you guys hear me?
Oh, no, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's two of you.
Oh, sweet. So anyways, I looked so pitiful the entire night. People actually thought I was really hurt. Patrons that knew me and kind of had seen me several times, they were coming up to me. What happened to you? Are you okay? And I had a conversation with Alan after that show, because there were some people even that wouldn't want to talk to me, because what you do when someone's injured, you almost kind of, I mean, I hate to say it, but you really don't want to talk to them. You kind of just block it out, I guess, because people were ignoring me some instead of engaging with me. So I talked to him about it, and he was like, it was probably because you looked like you were injured and you were in pain. So that was something I tried. It's definitely, I mean, it was a cool idea, because werewolf show, dog trainer, it kind of made sense, and I thought it was funny. But this was an example where I did something with the character that didn't get a great response, because people were trying to avoid me in some ways, and you don't want that, especially when you're trying to sell 3D photos.
Really great character. I like that idea.
It was pretty funny. I even had like one of those little dog whistles. So, you know, and I had little dog bones and stuff like that kind of tied to my character's outfit. I had a little ball that I would like throw and like try to get people to send it back to me. Like I was playing fetch with the patrons, pretty much. That's what I was doing. Yeah, so that was fun.
So Sam wants to know, how do you stop your makeup from running? Is it alcohol or water based? And that's true, because when you're doing these shows, you must get hot. Do you have problems with the makeup?
Right. At Dark Hour, you know, that one Alicia Hounds, the dog trainer, that was airbrushed makeup. So that tends to stay on pretty well, because it, you know, it's alcohol based, you know, it doesn't, it sets really well. When I do character makeups like this, like what I've got here on my face for my gator catcher, this is mostly done with cream makeups. What I do is I put on a primer, you know, just a basic makeup primer that you can get like at any of stores. I use a primer to put on my face before I put on the makeup, and that helps it stay. But then I also, at the end of the makeup application, I'll spray a barrier spray. I think Mayron makes one that's really good that I like. I know several. Ben Nye makes one. I'm a big fan of In a Pinch, y'all know, because I put the nail polish on my teeth. So even in a pinch, I mean, you could even use some hairspray or something like that on top, which I would, you know, you don't want to do that all the time, but if you run out of barrier spray or something, that will work. So that's kind of how I make my makeup stay.
And you know, Kathy wanted to know, how are you going to get that nail polish off your teeth?
You know what? It actually comes off really easily. It sounds like it's, you know, permanent and I'm going to look like this at work tomorrow. So Alan, if you're watching, don't worry. This is going to be fine tomorrow. So basically I just brush my teeth like normal. You know, I don't have to like do anything extra or whatever. It really does. It chips right off just with the toothbrush and toothpaste.
All right.
All right.
Okay, so should I ask another question? I got another one. Bob wants to know, what character was the biggest acting challenge for you?
Oh, goodness. That's a great question. Biggest acting challenge.
I'll be right back.
Goodness, I need to, let me think for a second. Well, I have to say, this gator catcher, I put this together really fast. So for me, it was a challenge. I pretty much created the character between the walk from my hotel room to that voodoo soiree party. I mean, I just kind of fell into it. So there wasn't a lot of preparation and time spent on it, which, you know, that was difficult. But I would have to say, when I played Vidua, that witch that we looked at earlier, the one, you know, with the pointy teeth, when I played her, she was like 12 feet up in the air in a dark hour scene during haunt season. She was belted in. She was attached to the wall on a lean belt so that I could kind of lean over the top of that, the podium deal, that it was about 12 feet. I would say that was really tough because you're hooked in all night. So when we're running, you know, haunt season, it's very busy. You've got your conga lines. You're going to have people in your room, you know, for longer than what you would normally have them in your room for. So, you know, I had to really think, you know, I had to come up with a lot of stuff that I could say to them. And I had to make sure that I was entertaining enough to keep their attention all of the time while they're in that conga line through the room, because I had this little pedal that I would step on and there was this big demon that would kind of come out of the hole on the other side of the wall. So I was the distraction. I was keeping their attention. And, you know, you can only do that so much. If you've got those people in your room for, you know, several minutes or whatever, you have to make sure that you stay in character the entire time. Your body movements, you know, everything, and just carefully plan it out to where you've got their attention. But then again, you're planning that scare against them as well. So I think Vidua was really challenging.
You can't do the scare and then just like it's over and walk away. If
I know.
In there.
I'm belted to the wall. I'm belted to the wall. So I'm here, guys. Hi. And it's just, you know, Vidua was awesome. She was so much fun. Earlier in the season, we didn't have those conga lines. You know, it was a little more kind of normal run through. And so in between groups, I would entertain, you know, the acolytes and other people that were acting in the areas. Because I was up there, I kind of felt like I was on stage. And that was kind of how I kept my energy going all night, was just to kind of play around in that character. But yeah, I would have to say probably Vidua was the most challenging. I had to stay put. I couldn't go anywhere else.
Right.
Well, and so what do you do if you have to pee?
So, funny story.
I do.
Yeah. So
Phil's got to pee.
During that haunt season, during that entire haunt season, Vidua only took one bathroom break. And it was like, I absolutely had to. But the rest of the season, what I tried to do is I found if I kept myself really well hydrated, if it wasn't like the only water I was drinking was during the show, if I kept really hydrated, I could drink little bits of all night and not have to go to the bathroom. So it was just something that I had to do. I didn't want to take a break, so I made sure that I was very adamant about taking care of myself every single day, you know, during haunt season. You can do it. You can make it a night without doing that. And I did, except for once. I will say, I'm proud to say, I got down, you know, in between groups and had to go one time. So it's tough, but you can do it.
Right. Thank God you don't have. Thank God you can't drink when you're haunting, because then you really have to go.
And you're mixed in that role, so you can't just be like, I have to pee.
Right.
Yeah, I really wanted everybody to be able to see her. She was the head witch for that season. She was on all of the posters. She was on all of our marketing materials. To me, it was really important that they got that experience. To me, it was almost like it was kind of like all building up to her. She was the big thing. So I was a trooper.
Great.
No potty breaks.
All right, guys. That's about that time. I know
we did it.
We did it. The time flew by real fast, and we're gonna go through the prizes real quick. And I think Phil's gonna name them all off. See who the winners are today.
Yeah, and Jose picked like. Oh,
I did, dude. It was random, God. Dude. I couldn't help it.
I know, random.
It's random. It's like I stuck it in a little thing. It was like
I'm just saying that,
and then it came out.
I'm gonna butcher some names. I am sorry right off the bat right now. But okay, so the winners for tonight. So the first prize we have is a mask from Face Factory Effects. The winner is Craig. Oh man, Windenbach. I'm gonna go with that. Craig Windenbach.
I don't even know if you said that right.
I don't know if I did either. The next prize is from Fright Props. It's the Face Light Show and the Foam Celtic Cross Tombstone, and the winner is Jason Kyle Peters. That one wasn't bad. That one was easy. The winner for the Cineful Audio, one free SFX library, 25% off original sound design, and 10% off amps or speakers, is Michael Laster. Whoop, whoop, whoop. The winner for the ornaments, the Vulture ornament, is
Ditches.
Rosalie Smallwood. Rosalie, congratulations.
Yeah, Rosalie.
Hey, congrats, Rosalie.
The 1 gallon of fog from Foggy's Fog. The winner is Billy Joyner. From Haunt Labs, the green lit Haunter desk sign featuring the winner state
Michigan.
is David. Yeah, Cowger. David Cowger, congrats.
Michigan.
A realistic looking skull from Nightmare Makers. The winner is Tyler Andery. I'm going to go with that. Tyler Andery. Congrats.
Hey, Tyler. I know that fucker.
The airbrush makeup 2-ounce glow pink and glow violet from I Love FX Makeup. The winner is Rue Newman.
There's still more? Oh my God.
Man, I'm tired. I think we got to take a break. The winner for the
Eat a Funyun.
Yeah.
Get your Steve back up.
I know. I'm tired. I'm hanging on here though. All right. The exotic lenses, the one free non-prescription normal pair of lenses. The winner is, I am gonna so butcher this name. Janus C. From.
What?
I think that's how it says. Janus C. From.
Oh, okay. All right.
Way to go.
Are you sure it's not?
You know you butchered that shit.
I definitely butchered that one. Sorry. So, and then the last one of the next prizes is Hotwire Foam Factory, the $25 gift card. The winner is Crandall McKee.
Is that it?
And, no, we got one more. And for everyone watching tonight, just a reminder from Sam Haynes, you all get 50% off by using the code Haunters. Everything's capitalized, Haunters. So make sure you guys go check out Sam Haynes for any type of music you need for your haunt.
All right. Good. Yeah. Man, that's a lot of prizes right there.
That was a lot.
All right, but we want to thank everybody for watching. We had an amazing show. All the actors had tons of information. You know, we hope to be as good as them are one day. And we want to thank all you guys for coming on, and hopefully we'll be able to have you guys on again one day.
That'd be awesome.
And
Thank you.
My pleasure,
you.
bro.
So much
Thank
fun.
you for having me, Diablo.
#HauntLife.